What's up, everybody? Alex here with one of these cups of coffee. Been a while since I've done a video where I kind of sit back and take a look at the hobby or some aspect of it. So one of the questions that I get quite often is, where are you with your set? How far away are you? Which cards are you looking for? So I started doing a countdown. As you guys know, I'm at 47 cards remaining for the 160 1953 Bowman Color set. But what I wanted to do, both for you guys to take a look at, but also because I was kind of curious, was to see which cards I still don't have, and if I can see any patterns in where they are in the set, and if that relates to any commonly known issues. So I put together a chart that's gonna show you exactly what I don't yet have, and I tried to color code them, and I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So the cards that are red are ones that I don't have, where either it's a short print, so it's a high number card and they're just few and far between, or they may not be a short print, may not be hard to come by, but they have some other really common defect. They're off center, they have registration issues, there's a lot of print defects, smudges, smears, you name it. The yellow ones are the key cards that are remaining in the set, so Hall of Famers, big name cards. So the reason I don't have them is probably just because of expense, but they also might be cards that I haven't gotten because of defects, whether it's registration, centering, what have you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I've broken it up into groups of 15 cards a page, so you can see that I have the first 15 cards of the set. Nothing missing here. Some of the cards were trickier to get a hold of than others, but I've since acquired all 15 of those. So the next page is where you can start to see a few gaps. So number 18, Nelson Fox, number 19, Al Dark. Those are not scarce cards by any stretch of the imagination. I see them quite a bit when I'm looking around, but as you guys know, I'm looking for certain things. Nelson Fox in particular, hard to find a centered one. It's always a little bit off. And I've gotten to the point now where it's like, look, I've held out for this long. I want a centered Nelson Fox. I'm holding out for it. Al Dark is like a really big close-up, a portrait shot, and any of the defects in the print tend to stand out. All the other cards on this page I already have. So we'll move on to the next one. So number 33, Pee Wee Reese. Again, not a scarce card. I see that card all the time. But as you guys know, I want that to be my very last card that I get. It's one of my favorite cards in the whole set. It's one of the reasons that I decided to start collecting this set in the first place. And I just feel like it's a fantastic card to kind of celebrate finishing the collection. So I'm just holding off on that one for now. Obviously, it's also a key card in general. So that's why it's yellow. Harry Bird, I mean, what a fantastic name. Can't wait to get that card, but for whatever reason, I'm being nitpicky about it, but I haven't found a good one of that card, so been holding out on that one. Not necessarily a scarce card, just tricky with regards to print issues. Tommy Brown, again, I see that card all the time, but the Tommy Brown card has a really weird print defect where there's some stray blue ink that's kind of all over his face and on his uniform. So I have seen a couple that looked good, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger at one time or another. So that one's just kind of hanging around. Again, not a short print, but definitely has common print defects. So those are the three on this page. Everything else I have. You can see we've got Stan Musial on this page, Minnie Minoso, the Bauer Mantle card. I've got that one. Larry Doby. There's a lot of big cards on this page. Okay, next page. Hank Sauer, again, not a short print, but tough to find centered, tough to find without print defects. Leo DeRocher, same thing, not a tough card scarcity-wise, but kind of tricky with regards to centering. Same with Bob Kane, a lot of print defects with that one. The Mickey Mantle, I've seen nice ones, but of course it's the Mickey Mantle, so it's expensive. So I'll get a hold of it eventually, but it's pricey, so that's why it's yellow. Okay, moving into the 60s and 70s in the set. Kurt Simmons, really tough to find, centered. And then Parnell and Minner. I think I'm just being picky with those two. Okay, now we're starting to get into the higher numbers, and you're going to start to see what I think are some interesting patterns. Jim Hearn, another card that I think I'm just holding out on because of centering issues that I see a lot of the time. But take a look at that bottom row, 86 to 90. That's a strong indication of, to me, not just scarce cards because they're high numbers, but also something that probably happened on the uncut sheet, whatever sheet that stretch of cards was on, because every one of those cards either has print defects or centering issues. Also, Harry Simpson's card has this little black speck on it that I'm pretty sure is just dirt from the camera lens. So the Simpson, the Perkowski, Dobson, Consuegra, and Nuxall don't have any of those. And then suddenly like 91, 92, 93, those ones were not too tricky to get. But then once again, there's a whole nother streak of cards from 94 to 99 that are just really tricky to find in good shape. Not necessarily scarce, but in addition to being high numbers, they have various issues. So Eddie Matthews and Warren Spahn, you can see 97 and 99. Those are obviously key cards, Hall of Famers, but they're also prone to centering issues. Both the Matthews and the Spahn are always wildly off center. I have seen good ones, but they're few and far between. Del Ennis, another card, number 103, that's hard to find centered. Okay, next page. Now it starts to get spread out a little bit again. Ken Wood, not a tough card necessarily, but again, centering issues. So starting on this bottom row and kind of spilling into the next page that I'm about to show you guys, these cards are considered some of the hardest, most scarce cards in the set, and I'm finding that to be true. So you can see Eddie Yost, Duke Snider, Billy Martin don't have any of those, don't have Marlon Stewart. 119, that card was really hard to find, centered. Going into the next page, Yogi Berra, incredibly difficult card to find, centered. Number 126, Al Corwin. For those of you guys that don't know, there are actually 2 Al Corwin cards in this set. It's this weird anomaly, this weird mistake that Bowman made when they made this set. There are actually 2 Al Corwin cards. The second one's coming up. I don't have either of them yet. Both of them are tricky to find in good shape. But just imagine being a baseball player and having 2 cards in this set. I mean, nobody knows Al Corwin except for the fact that he's got 2 cards in this set. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So Fred Hutchinson, Willie Jones, a lot of these guys are just cards that I don't see that often, and when I do, they're kind of beat up. Okay, now you can start to see bigger gaps in this next page. The Breidweiser is all over the place in terms of centering. Alva Brazel, that card is just a mess a lot of the time. There's the other Al Corwin, number 149. Carl Scheib, I hardly ever see that card. Pete Reynolds, hardly ever see that card. And then we're wrapping it up here. You can see just a few gaps here and there. Whitey Ford, key card, obviously Hall of Famer, but also very difficult card to get. Centered, very difficult card to get with good registration. And then you've got Joe Adcock, Max Serkant, Sherman Lawler, and Allie Clark to wrap it up. Okay, so hope that was interesting. Definitely kind of cool to take a step back and look at exactly where I am and where I'm headed. And I do hope that that might help some of you out there that are interested in pursuing this set. I realize that like what I'm doing is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. I'm going after common cards and I'm trying to find the best common card I can. I'm not going for 8s or 9s or 10s for sure, but I'm definitely looking for nicer copies of the cards. But I've got my reasons, and one of the reasons is because I think this set is the most beautiful set of cards ever produced. And to me, that's kind of the mission that I'm on, is to try to complete the set and have each card be, you know, a nice example within this 160 card set. So taking a look at the set and looking at what's commonly known about it in terms of the issues, but then what you yourself have experienced. Sometimes there's some similarities, but sometimes there's some surprises. Always appreciate your guys' comments and contributions to the conversation. Thanks very much. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.